are you taking ownership of you and your business? Because if you can't do it, then how do you expect somebody else to be able to believe that they can do it? Today, we're going to be talking about something that might be sabotaging your business and you might not even be aware of it. Madeline, I've been thinking about...
Hi, David. How are you?
I am good, Madeline.
We are back.
We are back and better than ever. Today, I want to talk about the founder mindset and what potentially could be sabotaging their business. And I think most don't even understand it, but it could be that negativity within their leadership, in their communication, that they may not be aware of, but it's affecting each one of their employees, their sales, and their customers.
Well, have you ever been guilty of that?
I, of course, have been guilty of it. Thank you for asking. I know this is true. I know
It's
this,
true.
right? As a business owner, a founder, even a manager, right? When you're responsible for certain things, you know, maybe your sales are a little bit off and you're frustrated by that. I know it's happened to me, right? Is that, man, our numbers are off. I'm frustrated. Now I'm becoming negative and I'm looking for things and I may actually even be lashing out, which I know is a shocker that I might actually do. But lashing out in like, we need to get this better, right? And the way we're communicating it. Or it could be something as simple as I had a bad night at home, right?
With me?
No,
Never.
not with you. I'm just saying this could be a general
No.
statement, not us. No, but it could be anybody, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and you can have these little life events, or you can just have a bad day, a bad morning driving into your business, or maybe you had a bad sales call, right? And or you know, you were interviewing somebody and it went bad, right? You know, it could be anything. So what I wanted to really talk about was when, because it's not an if, you're going to have these sometimes negative events happen.
Yes.
What would you advise someone on how to best address that and make sure they're not delivering that to their team, their customers, really anybody?
Yeah. So it's no secret that a negative mindset will definitely spread like a wildfire in your organization. And so there's also no secret that it starts from above, right? So if you as a founder or as an owner come in bad attitude, what do you think is going to happen, right? We all been there. And so it's going to spread. People are not going to be as productive. And, you know, it's just walking into a room and feeling the tension. And that's how I see it. So what I will absolutely invite everyone to do is leave your problems at the door. And before you walk in, take a deep breath and be thankful that you even have an opportunity to have a staff and that you have customers that are waiting to buy your product. So when we start speaking, you know, like it's funny because at the gym, I go every day and my classes sometimes are very hard. And the first thing I say to myself, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. And so I do talk to myself to pep myself up. And that's the one thing that I would invite people to do as well if they're having a bad day. I always say, every day above ground is a good day. Spin it around and say, you know what, let's focus on what we can be grateful for.
You know, I'm glad you brought up not you, but the individual, because like the solopreneur has a real challenge, right? And you mentioned self-talk.
Yes.
And I believe in self-talk. I believe if you put positive energy and utilizing words and you're consistent with the process, that you will find that it takes some of that negative activity away from you. I think when you do that, it helps whether you're an individual or you're a team. But it's also, I think, how we speak. And I'd love for you to maybe give some guidance on some ways of phrasing things, right? Because sometimes when things aren't going well and you have a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the sales aren't going well, or maybe it's the marketing isn't doing what you hope for. Instead of being negative in saying, well, our sales suck, so therefore, we're putting our team at risk.
Mm-hmm.
What might be a better way to say something along those lines? Or what are some tools they can use that might be able to help them soften how they're communicating? Because I think a lot of the negativity comes out verbally, and then it's also witnessed on how they position and how they're standing or how they're on screen or wherever they're at.
Well, as you know, I'm a huge fan of having meetings in the mornings and just setting the stage of what needs to happen on a daily basis and pumping your staff for it. And this is not a dopamine hit, okay? This is understanding what can you as a leader do for them, right? And really show up for them, and they will show up for you. It's part of the culture, right? So understanding, if you're down in sales, let's have a conversation. How can I support what you're doing or your skill set? How can we enhance it, right? Always take responsibility for what you expect your team to do. Because when you do that as a leader, guess what they'll do? They'll do the same thing. Your manager will do the same exact thing for the people that they report, that reports to them. And then those individuals will take full responsibility of who they interact every single day as clients. So it's understanding the standards. It's understanding how you show up is how they're going to show up for you.
I think that is a phenomenal point, because I think so often we see leaders point fingers.
Yes.
Right? And I always blow it, but when you're pointing your finger at somebody, three are pointing back at you type thing. But the point that I think you're making is nobody is trying to do something poorly.
No.
There's a need. And so what you did is you took an opportunity to coach and counsel and offer. And I think when people feel like you're a team.
Yes.
And this is interesting because even when you're an individual owner, you're a solopreneur, right? You almost have to have that same conversation with you. It's now, what do I need to do to help me become better, right? It's not that I can't do it. It's not that I won't be able to do it. It's just that simply I may need to have a skill set, or maybe I need to hire someone that has that. And it's okay to do that. And I think it's how it's such a great point, because it's how you address it to yourself and your team changes everything. I'm thinking of an example of someone that we've worked with, and we were having a conversation with that person, and they were frustrated with their numbers. And everything was, this isn't working. This isn't working. I don't know, my people aren't selling enough. This is this. And we both kind of said to him, I said, it's kind of negative coming out of you. What's a way that you can positively impact those numbers, right? Are you showing them that it can be done, right? It's your business. Are you taking ownership? And I love that. Are you taking ownership of you and your business? Because if you can't do it, then how do you expect somebody else to be able to believe that they can do it? And to me, that's a critical component of success.
Well, it's leadership, right? I mean, you got to show up. You got to show up. It's your business. And even if it wasn't, you got to show people how to show up for you as well. And most situations are a mirror, right? You are the mirror for that individual.
What does that mean? I know what a mirror is. I just want to go on record.
Well, no, so when you are showing up for your staff, right, and they are looking at you, what you are doing, they're looking at them at a mirror, right? So they're going to mimic exactly what that mirror is doing for them.
Right.
Life is a mirror, you know? So the people that we look up to, that's how we act. Same thing with your staff, right? If you show up with, and I'm not saying that every day is, strawberries and cream. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
But the one thing you cannot allow it is them seeing you in a bad space. It's not allowed. It's not negotiable.
It's so amazing. While you were talking about that, I was thinking of the younger me. And
yeah. What about it?
Not sure I like the chuckle, and I'm not sure I'm accepting that, like what I'm about to say, but you don't.
No, I don't.
But years and years ago when I was in corporate, I remember, and you and I had so this is about 25 years ago, people were thanking you.
I know.
Because you got me to be calmer, more
happier.
Clearly happier, but also I will admit I was a pretty direct. I'm still a very direct person. I just try to use better words. In my expectations, while I still have them, I'm understanding of things that could be impacting them. And I think that why that story, that mirror, was making me reflect while you were talking about it was that I remember a time where, I literally was called into my boss's office, and he said, "I love everything you're doing. I just need you to not be that." And that was, I didn't show any empathy. And I know it took me a little bit to get to the word, but I think that as leaders, we have to understand it and appreciate what someone else might be going through. And we don't know everything about our teams. I mean, as close as some of our teams are with us, we still don't know everything that's going on in their lives.
Right.
And so there may be things that they can't or maybe shouldn't discuss with you, but we have to be at least appreciative that there may be that out there. Not that that's 100% the excuse. And I don't want to leverage it that way. But I think that, to me, I know that I was pretty hard on some people early on in my career because I didn't think it was anything other but it's either this or it's that.
Yeah.
Versus now I think as I've grown, and one of the things I want people to take away from this is that was perceived as negative. Now I think most people consider me a pretty positive person when I'm dealing with business and managing teams and things like that. Can I get there? Sure. But I recognize it now. And it takes self-development.
Yeah.
As a leader.
Self-discipline.
And you said something about before you walk in the door.
Clear your energy.
Clear your energy. I was going to say clear your head, but clear your energy. Get it in the right frame of mind that you need to be the most important and valuable asset your team has.
Absolutely. You as a leader set the tone in what's going to happen that day, honestly, every day. And that's why clearing your energy, walking in, it's crucial.
Yeah.
It really is. You as a leader do not have the luxury to be negative. It just isn't negotiable, like I said before. And thank you for sharing that story because I remember that. I remember people, I didn't see you that way, right? But then we met in different circumstances. But I was like that too when I was in corporate, and I don't know if it had to do with the leadership that was above me. In that mirror, I was mirroring exactly what I was seeing, and at the time, understanding how to clear your energy wasn't a thing, right? And I transferred that when we opened the business, right? We had all these people depending on us, and we never really looked at them as such. and never really looked at them as people that have issues too. Right? We expected them to come to work, have a good attitude for our clients, but we were not willing to do the same. And that's just not right, And obviously, as you mature, as you self-develop yourself, as you learn the importance of showing up for your people and showing up for people in general, you learn that those are things that are non-negotiable, and you try to bring that every single day. Is it perfect? No. Right? But I would say that today you can talk to any of our staff, and they would say that they love working for us, right? Because we became emotionally available for them.
Yeah. And I think what you're really talking about is, especially in entrepreneurship, when it's more than just you driving your numbers and the amount of pressure. And I think that it's interesting because not an excuse, but a lot of times employees don't understand the pressure you have to make sure that you retain them, to make sure that they get a raise, to make sure that they're making a good living. And then at the same time, you're trying to make a good living for yourself.
Absolutely.
And so there is a lot of pressure on this. And so what I want people to take away from is the pressure is there. It's how we manage to that pressure and allow for opportunities for things not to be perfect.
Right.
And if we can grow in that way, you build a very strong team. You build a strong team that's willing to go through a wall for you.
Yes.
And if you build that team, 7 figures isn't your concern. 8 figures is your next obstacle and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they'll help you get there.
It will help you get there. They want to. Yeah. I don't think anybody takes a job because they don't want to be there. And I think the only reason, one of the number one reasons why people leave is because of I was going to say leadership, but the lack thereof leadership, right? And so we have to remember as leaders, as business owners, that they're there to help us. Mm-hmm. They want to help us. We have to appreciate that, respect that, and understand their days aren't always perfect either.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes. And another point that I wanted to make sure that leaders do understand, when you undervalue your sales process, your clients, your everything in your business, so will they.
Absolutely.
So, it's important to, for this segment, takeaways that I really like to highlight: the valuing the product, the clearing your energy before you show up for them, and do not confuse assessments with emotional reactions when you're assessing your staff, which is important to do as well, right? Those are your check-in moments. Those are your one-on-ones, and they're good to have because, again, it's important to know what's happening in their lives if they're willing to share.
It is. And I totally agree with those. Only thing I would add is that one comment that you made is, remember the mirror, and they're mirroring you and what they see. And if you remember that, then it's a lot easier for you to remember that if they see that negativity in leadership from you, that's exactly how they're going to treat other employees. And that's how they're going to absolutely treat your customers.
Yes.
So I hope that you guys got some information that was useful for you today. We enjoyed the conversation. If you found it of value, we would ask that you give us a 5-star review and refer it to anybody that you know might be struggling with this same concept in leadership. It's the quickest and fastest way that we can help CEOs and entrepreneurs just like you grow and scale your business. Till next time.
Let's get to work.